remember playing softball and my teammates being like, oh, we've been playing softball since we were 5 years old. And of course, that immediately made me think, it's like, well, what have I been doing since I was 5 years old? And it actually wasn't until a couple of years later that I realized, oh, I've been singing since I was 5 years old. And I think that part of the reason it took me so long to figure that out is because singing had stopped being something that I do, and more of part of who I am. I don't just do singing, I am singing. As silly as that might sound. And I loved to sing, so I did Missoula Children's Theater. I did mostly theater company, and then I did Savapa when I was in high school going to Southwest. I wouldn't trade my experiences for the world because I learned so much from them, not just about performing, but about being a community and relating to people and teaching. I got to come back and do summer arts camp as a teacher, and I have just learned so much from being grounded in the Imperial Valley. And my grandma was the first one to tell me, like, oh, you should sing opera. And I fought her for years. So I didn't want to sing opera. I didn't like it. But until I wanted to go to college, and they all wanted classical repertoire. They all wanted classical songs. So I took voice lessons 3 times a week at 5:30 in the morning for several months. So I got into college and I went to Point Loma Nazarene University and I studied with Craig Johnson, and he was like, yeah, your grandma's totally right. You should sing opera. Also, your grandma's amazing. He told me, like, oh, she's right. Singing opera will improve your musical theater. And I still didn't believe them. And I still hated opera. I was good at it, I think, but I still didn't like it. Opera was in this box. I felt like I was trapped in this box, this stiff, boring, pretentious box. And I think a lot of people still see opera that way. And the year it changed for me was the summer after my sophomore year. I had auditioned for our next opera, and I was learning Cendrillon, the French Cinderella. That summer, I went to OperaWorks, and that program changed my life because that was the first place that I felt like it was okay to admit that I had spent 2.5 years of my life practicing opera, and I didn't like it. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to do musical theater, and I missed it so much. And musical theater was real, where opera was all of this high hoity-toity for rich people, and I didn't get it, and it was this thing that I couldn't relate to, but musical theater was the music of my soul. So I told them, I was like, I don't want to do opera anymore, I want to do musical theater, and they were the first people to be okay with that. They were the first people that I perceived as classically trained musicians to not look down their noses at musical theater. So I had decided to quit opera. I was going to do Cendrillon, but then I was done. I wasn't going to sing opera anymore. But what I learned at OperaWorks, even though I had decided to quit, was that opera could be everything that musical theater is. And it wasn't anything but me in the way. I was the only one in the way of letting opera be the dynamic, amazing, beautiful, vibrant, living thing that it is. OperaWorks and Cendrillon taught me that, and I realized by the end of Cendrillon that there was no way I could give it up, not if this was opera. Fast forward, I'm now in Kansas. I've finished my first year of my master's, and now I have this incredible opportunity to go to Germany, something that I have been wanting to do since I graduated from Point Loma. That's almost 4 years ago now, and I have this chance. I've got the plane tickets, and I can't wait to go, but I need help. It's hard sometimes, I think. It's hard to ask for help. I wish I was self-sufficient. I wish I didn't have to ask for help, that I could just fund my own journey. I'm going to be honest about that, but I need help. I know that I have come out to Kansas for a reason, and I really believe that that reason is my voice teacher. But I also know that God is leading me to Germany right now. He's saying, leap, take this leap of faith, and I will take care of you. And I'm scared, but I know that this is where I need to go. And if you could help even just a little bit, I would be absolutely more than grateful. And every little bit helps. $5. I know I have so many friends that if everybody donated just $5, that I know I could get there no problem. Thank you all for believing in me. From the very beginning, from the first time I went home to do a benefit recital to get me to OperaWorks, you guys have heard how life-changing that was for me. I wouldn't be singing opera if it wasn't for OperaWorks. I wouldn't be pursuing my passions. I wouldn't be me if I hadn't gone to OperaWorks. And I know that this is another one of those. I know it. And I just want to thank you all, especially everyone from the Imperial Valley. We're an agricultural community. Like, what right do I have to think that I could be successful in something like music, in something like singing? But you all believed in me from the very beginning, and I'm so grateful, and I know I wouldn't be here without you all. So thank you. Thank you, and I can't wait to share the rest of my journey with all of you.